Thank you for calling into the Lessons in Wisdom teaching call for tonight. I am the host. I am the Senior Director of the Temple of Enlightenment Spiritual Center. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Those of you who are reaching out to us for the first time, you can connect with us on Twitter at TOE Spiritual Center, or you can reach out to us at the Temple of Enlightenment on Facebook. We're also on LinkedIn, and we're also on Twitter. So you can reach out to us on all social media platforms. I just want to, thank you guys for being a part of this call tonight. Tonight we have a special guest that I'm excited about, somebody who I've been following for so long and really been connected with. And she's been really doing a lot of great things. And so I just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to really hear what she has to say, and for her to definitely give us some golden nuggets, some tools, some wisdom on success principles and as it relates to business and also to your life and how you can use them practically to enhance and increase your life. And so I want to welcome our guest tonight, Miss Christina Dukes. She is a success manifestation coach. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Issachar. Am I saying your name right?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, perfect. I always get concerned, but I'm like, okay, good. Thank you so much for having me on. I was actually just going to say that when I came on, I think you've been following me from YouTube, and then you came into my Facebook group, so we've probably known each other for about a good 5 years, right?
Yeah. I've been following you for quite some time, and just seeing a lot of things that you're doing, a lot of principles and the success magnets that you use, and we're going to get into all of that tonight.
Yes.
But what I want you to do first is I want you to just give us a little bit of history about who you are and how you came into what it is that you do.
Sure. So I'm Christina Dukes. I'm a Chicago-based business and branding and money mindset coach. I'm a success manifestation coach. That's what they've coined me as, and I gladly accept that title. I work with mainly women in the corporate space and entrepreneurs, and I help them to build powerful money-making brands that get them noticed, get them booked, and get them paid, obviously. And I've been doing that now for about a good 10 years, really just helping women, especially women. I work with a couple awesome men too, just build their brands online, position their digital brands, create the processes that are going to generate profits for them, because obviously, I'm heavily into the law of attraction. I'm sure that's how you found me, through my Smelling Money video, which is on YouTube. Just type in Smelling Money. It'll pop right up. And that video just created this amazing funnel for me, right? Because I remember, flashback to about probably 8, 9 years ago, I was just learning about the law of attraction. I saw this movie named The Secret, and I was like, this is really interesting. And as a Pisces, I've always been attracted to metaphysics and those different types of, interesting spiritual things. And The Secret just hit me a little bit different. So at that time, I was just finishing graduate school. I was doing my first master's in business and leadership. And I remember going to so I'm part of the National Black MBA Association, and they would have these job career fairs. And so I would go to those, and just everybody was just begging for this job, but everyone really wants to pursue something different. And so it just kind of hit me, and it was maybe your ideal clients are these people in corporate that have other passions and want to pursue those outside of it. So that was what helped me to start my very first business, which then after working with a number of different coaches and just people that have helped me throughout my path, because investing is a huge part of that, obviously. And from there, I was able to develop my own brand as Christina Dukes, and now I am a business and branding coach. And like I said, I work with women in the corporate space, helping them build powerful, high-end money-making brands. And outside of that, because I was always into spirituality, and if you remember, do you remember when I used to do these lives in my Facebook group, and I would talk about business and pull angel cards?
Yeah.
And so I would get so many views, likes. People would say, can I book a one-on-one angel card reading with you? I was doing astrology reading. It was so much stuff in my business model. And then I kind of figured out, and that just happened actually over this time of the pandemic, was really my time of saying, well, what do you do with that, right? And so from there, I started another brand, which is Earth Angel Nina, and that's my spiritual brand where I'm incorporating, because I'm also a certified life coach, incorporating my life coaching skills with reaching angel cards and just helping guide, again, my ideal client, because most of the people who are coming to me in that realm are, successful women, entrepreneurial women, corporate women that just need some guidance about what's going on in their life. So that's basically what I do.
And so one of the reasons why,
in a nutshell,
one of the reasons that I had you on was because I love the way that you merge business and metaphysics, business and the spirituality sector together.
Yes.
And so if somebody's listening on this call and they have a business or they're thinking about starting a business, what are some metaphysical or success principles that you would think would be very necessary for the person who has a business or is thinking about starting a digital business right now?
Sure, absolutely. So obviously every business has to be digital, right? Like that's first, right? But the biggest thing about business is about the processes. And success is a process, right? So think about it like this, and I'll just give a quick example. If I wanted to be Beyonce and be the greatest singer in the world, I may be naturally good at singing and dancing, but what do I have to do? I have to work on that craft, right? And so that's why I say success is a process, because it's reading the books, watching the law of attraction videos, it's setting business goals, it's working with business coaches, it's where areas where you see weakness in your business, areas where you're struggling, where you're like, oh my God, I don't understand social media, or I'm just not getting the sales I want. That's an area where we have to begin thinking, how do I invest in myself to work on this? Does that make sense? So even if you're like a doctor and you want to become, so say for example, you want to become a doctor, you have to go to medical school, right? And so it's about investing in your brand. Like that's the biggest thing. Even when it comes to law of attraction, right? We want to manifest money, right? How do we make money? Even if you want to win the lottery, you've got to invest and buy a lottery ticket, right? So as entrepreneurs, like our step one in doing anything, even if you have not started that business yet, you have to invest initially. So with my clients, what I really sit down and help them do, so we're going to segment these two demographics. So if we're going to first start with the people who have an idea or have always thought about starting a business, but there's so much fear there because that's areas where they may not be the strongest. So you outsource those things, right? Just like you love hairstyles, you may not be the best at doing them yourself, but you outsource it to a hairstylist. So that's where in our business we have to really think about this big picture of how do we outsource certain things. So let's start with the person that has an idea. So the first thing I'm going to tell them is you got to invest in your business. So whether that's a business coach or putting up capital to buy inventory, to start a website, that's an investment, right? Like really sit down and strategize what your investments are. Because a lot of times people will just say, well, it's going to cost so much to start the business. And when you ask them, well, how much does it cost? They have no idea because they've never sat down and really thought about it. And law of attraction, it's 3 basic principles, right? Ask for what you want. Believe you're going to get it, and be open to receive it, right? But a lot of us are in this place of, I just want to receive it, but we haven't asked for it. We have to believe we're going to get it, right? And that's why we're not receiving it. So when starting a business, the biggest thing I always tell people is start with a business plan. A business plan is one of the greatest law of attraction documents you'll ever have in your business, legitimately, okay? Because it's laying down and identifying what do you do, how much do you charge, and how are you going to fill your client base with the people that you want. That's 3 simple steps. But a lot of times, we get out there, we're like, okay, I got this T-shirt, I'm going to sell this. Cool, you've done that, but what's the next level look like? And that's where a lot of people, when they're starting businesses, bring me in to really just help them solidify these dreams and goals they have into a feasible and working plan. Because that's how law of attraction works, right, when you're starting a business. Now, the other segment that we were talking about is people who are already entrepreneurs. And so I'll work with a lot of people who are entrepreneurs who have been in business for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And great, they are already operating in their business. Where a lot of people come to me is they're really looking for that next level of their business. And so legitimately, what does that next level look like for you, right? Do you want to hire, is it a wish of yours to hire staff or to make a certain amount of money or to get certain levels of publicity? Because when you think about it, even if you are an entrepreneur, publicity is a huge aspect of your business model, and that's marketing. And marketing is, okay, how are people going to learn about your products? That's marketing. How are people going to learn about you, right? A lot of people that I work with, they've already, started a business, but now what they're really working on is, okay, how do I now start marketing myself so I can expose more people to learn about my products or my services or what I do, okay? So with law of attraction, it's really, again, about writing out that plan. And I think what a lot of people don't do when it comes to merging business and metaphysics, they think it's two separate things, but it's actually not, right? It's one thing. So even if you're writing out your business goals from your business plan, that is your manifestation process. Now go do the work, because that's the belief, right? You've written out this plan. You've put on papers. These are my goals. This is what I want to make in revenue. This is how many followers I want to have. This is how much exposure I want. These are the places I want to speak at. These are the type of clients I want to work with. Getting really clear about that. So every aspect of your business is going to entail law of attraction. And that is about having a plan. And I think that's where a lot of people miss it, regardless of if they're thinking about starting a business, just started a business, or are sometimes seasoned in their businesses.
Exactly.
That was a lot.
Yeah, that was good. And so, I've always been a component of basically, I always believe that writing is the first level of manifestation, because what it does is you take that invisible thought, that concept that's in your head, and you actually make it tangible because you put it on paper. And we know that anything that you put in writing, you make it official. And so writing that plan, that business plan, for those that are getting ready to start this business and write out the plan, it makes it official. It makes the universe know that you are serious about actually getting this business up and going, and that you're actually serious about it. Now, when you talk about dealing with your clients and dealing with them on a spiritual level, what are some of the things that you are able to help people with, as far as moving in and moving in the spiritual realm and out of the spiritual realm? For instance, we deal with everything on the spiritual level, but we also have to realize that everything that we do on the spiritual level is going to be made manifest in the physical realm. So when it comes to
and whether that's a business or a job or a career you're wanting, or love or money, it's all the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So explain to us about the success magnets that you use.
Okay, yeah, so my tribe, and that's something I'm big with my clients on, is having a tribe. Who's your tribe, right? And so for me, my tribe was the success magnets. I'm a success manifestation coach. I'm all about attracting success. I'm all about how you put yourself out there, what are you wanting to manifest. And so it's just, the Success Magnets is my Facebook group where we just create this cool, healthy environment of just sharing things that are inspiring. So for me, my thing is about inspiring people to the path of entrepreneurship, because for a lot of people, and I'm not saying entrepreneurship and that road is easy, because, it's definitely not, but the rewards are so phenomenal, just in terms of, wow, I built this business. Wow, this podcast I started ended up being a huge success. Wow, this T-shirt line I came out with expanded, and now we're partnering with other people. And so the Success Magnets was just really this place for people to just get that inspiration they needed to be successful. That's my job, is just help you be successful.
And so, I totally agree. And I think that now more than ever, the pandemic has shown us that the digital platform is more important now more than ever. Having a digital business is almost, I would say, mandatory in this day and time. And, how do you feel about, the brick and mortar now moving to click and order, where we're moving more digital now?
Oh, I like that. The brick and mortar moving to, I got to write that down. The brick and mortar moving to click and order. Okay. I love that. I think, you know what, being honest, I was recently reading a study that was saying that 85% of people research businesses online before doing business with them, okay? So even if you are brick and mortar, 85% of your customer base is researching you online. So I can just imagine, like, during the pandemic, and thank goodness we had a pandemic during a digital age because we would have been so bored, okay? But we would probably find other things to do, right? But this was really just a time for people to gather information. But I'm pretty sure that number has probably moved up to about 95%, right? With, our 5% outliers that aren't online. A digital brand is very important because like I always tell my clients, there's a 3-part process in really growing your brand. And so number 1 is know, number 2 is like, and number 3 is trust. And so when we think about our ideal clients, there is a process they go through, right? Like I could tell you how many days it takes from someone watching my YouTube video to moving to my group, to moving into a call with me, to them being a paying client. Like I can tell you what all those numbers look like, right? And so having a digital presence is important because you want people to always remember you. So publishing newsletters, always being, I'm not saying you have to be online all day. Like I literally do not have the Facebook app on my phone. I have an automation tool I use that posts to Facebook for me. I go on there and whoever's engaged with me, I engage back. I spend a little bit of time on LinkedIn or different platforms, but it's not something that's running my life. And so that's because I have processes set up so that I can run my business, because that's part of running a business. So right now, with us moving from brick and mortar to click and order, do I feel that brick and mortars will completely be demolished? No, I don't, because there are some essential businesses that have to be brick and mortar, like grocery stores, cell phone store, car washes. There's a lot of services that still have to continue being brick and mortar, or the hairstylist, right? But what the digital marketplace right now, the opportunity it creates for brick and mortar stores is to really see, okay, do we really need a location, right? And if, how can we be more present online? Walmart has done that successfully. You go into Walmart right now, and even though they're a brick and mortar, they have basically made us the checkout people, right? And, made everything this automated process, so we're doing everything for ourselves, but they're still a brick and mortar. So I don't think just brick and mortars will completely disappear, but what I think that it did was introduce an opportunity to where businesses could really venture into their digital presence online and using that as an avenue to convert and create more sales. Because obviously during the pandemic, a lot of people were still shopping. They were just shopping online, versus going, to stores. So there was a quick story. There was a case study I did in grad school. This was my thesis project, and it was on a company called General Growth. So they specialize in like high-end malls. So if you have malls in your area that maybe have like Bloomingdale's or Nordstrom's or Neiman Marcus and Lord & Taylor, more than likely those malls are part of the General Growth properties. And so we did a study on what was the future of these brick and mortar malls. And even at that time, when I was finishing grad school, that was in 2012, 2013. At that time, a lot of the malls were going into what's called lifestyle places. So I'm sure a lot of people have coming up in their area, like it's like a mall on the bottom and like maybe condos or something at the top. That's called a lifestyle center. And so they were venturing more into that because people weren't going to the mall as much. So if you're in the business of retail, I think that click and order is very powerful for you. There are people who are generating hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars just through digital marketing. Fashion Nova has done that quite successfully. Kaisha Kayor, Gucci Mane's wife, she's done that very successfully with selling her products. And it's really about, especially in the digital marketplace, about who you're partnering with, who you're positioning yourself to work with. And, you may not get a Cardi B like Fashion Nova, but there's other ways that you can really use a digital marketplace to, successfully run your business. Even for me, a few years ago, I made a decision, hey, I'm just going to work from my home office, and just eliminated my office. And because I'm a service-based entrepreneur, but I figured out how to eliminate the brick and mortar, because I did have an office space, and just move more into my home space. I still physically have a space, but focusing more on working with clients strictly virtually, because I don't meet with clients in person anymore at all. Everything is virtual. So that's the new click and order.
Yeah, definitely. I totally understand, and I agree. I think that we're in this day and time, if you're going to be a creator of your own reality, and you're going to be able to create your own reality, I think that you have to at some point consider moving into entrepreneurship. And I believe that entrepreneurship is not just saying I'm starting my own business, but entrepreneurship is a shift in consciousness. It is a level of consciousness that you shift into. And so I know that you also use astrology, the angel cards. How do you work those things into your business practices? How do you work with those?
Absolutely. So my clients, especially on the business side, they vary, right? So some people are a little bit into the law of attraction. Some people are like heavily into it, like astrology and manifesting, into psychic realms and different things. Like, some people are totally into it, and some people are just like, okay, well, just give me the light side, right, of the law of attraction, because maybe they're not as into those other spiritual things, which is perfectly fine. I can gauge from a client and meeting with them and knowing how far I can kind of push this, and just kind of allowing them to navigate that. And so I definitely would say that how I incorporate like astrology and angel cards, if I feel like a client needs an angel card, I'll ask them, can I just pull an angel card for you really quickly? And if I've never had like a no, I can see if it's a little hesitation or something, and that kind of gauges me to see how far I can take certain concepts with them, right? And especially like with astrology, like I'll let them know, hey, it's a new moon. You should write out some intentions in your notebook. And most people don't reject that, because it does help them just get a lot of things off of their minds, right? And so incorporating like astrology and angel cards and things, I am very transparent about who I am. And I try to expose that in my brand as much as possible, because I am running two separate brands. So I'm running my business brand, which is Christina Dukes, and I'm running my spiritual business, which is Earth Angel Nina. And I'm very transparent about both with each other. Does that make sense? And so my clients know exactly what I do, but I just kind of gauge like where they are. And again, really, my job is just to help them be successful. So if it's a new moon, I'm going to let you know. If it's a full moon, hey, you need to declutter your closets or get rid of some things, make some space in your house, get it together. Like I'll give them, just after each session that I have with my clients, they always get homework. So they'll always have something incorporated, but based on how our interactions are or where they are in the process is how I'll deliver that information to them. Does that make sense? So for some of them, it's like, hey, it's a full moon. You got to feng shui and do this. But if a client's not totally into that, I'll be like, hey, we're coming up on the end of the month. It's a good time for you to start to declutter a little bit of stuff to make some space and create some good energy. Does that make sense? So I'll know how to map it, if that makes sense.
So you mentioned your new moon technique. Could you elaborate a little bit more on how you use the new moon? Because we're actually going to be coming into a new moon pretty soon. So how do you
Right. So right now we're in a full moon. Yeah. So you guys got to go over to Earth Angel Nina and subscribe, because I talk about all the new moon cycles and astrology trends and manifesting in certain seasons and what's important. But so right now we're coming up on a full moon, but I'll talk about the new moon first. I think the new moon is coming in the second week of June. And so new moons are great times for setting out manifestations of things you want to attract. So new moons are about bringing in. It's the beginning of a cycle. And so one thing that I'll do with the new moon is I'll write out, like, how much money I want to make, what I want to manifest in my life. Just recently, I just manifested my X5, did that in a new moon ritual, wrote it down and put it under a candle. So I'll explain that in a second. But, like, just manifesting what things do you want to bring in, right? And so literally I just use the new moon for that period. The other cool thing you can do in the new moon is you can make something called new moon water. And so new moon water is awesome because literally what you're going to do is after you wrote down the list of all the stuff you want, you're literally just going to pray to the, I'm not saying like, because I believe in God too, but it's literally just like kind of like this release process. And so literally I'll take a bottle of water and just be like, water, bless me, bless my body so I can move forward in my manifestations and just fulfill, the will of God in my life and things I want to do. And I'll set the water out overnight in the new moon and then drink a sip of that water until it's done over the next 30 days because you just put intention into the water. Does that make sense? And so that is, for me, those are the things that I basically do, during the new moon to attract and bring in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I think working with the new moon is definitely the time when we bring in. Now, how I used to work with the new moon is I learned from one of my astrology teachers a long time ago. I would write out a check. When the new moon came in,
I have my check up here too. I did that too.
Yeah, and I would write out a check, and I have right now I have a shoebox full of checks that I've been writing for years. Where every time a new moon comes in, because a new moon is a time to bring things in. It is really a time to manifest. It is really a time for the new beginnings and the new starts. And so those are the
start of a new cycle
to really begin to manifest and bring things in. Now let's talk about some of the full moon rituals as we're getting ready to move into the full moon.
So the full moon actually starts tomorrow. It's called the super flower blood moon, and we're also having a lunar eclipse, okay? So I know that's like all kind of crazy, but I'll explain what that means. So basically full moons are, and you have all seen it for yourself, when the moon is basically full, right? And so this is a time of releasing. And so because the moon, which the word is moon, is ruled by emotions, M-O, and the moon, it actually, a lot of people don't know this, but it's what creates the gravitational pull with the ocean. It creates like waves and different things like that, the tides and things in the water, lakes, water, oceans, whatever. So we're basically about 85% water. What is the moon doing to us, right? And so I did this study while I was in grad school. This is super crazy, but I'm going to just tell you about just the power of the full moon. So I live in Chicago, right? I live on the South Side. Shout out to Southsiders. But I did this study, and I was like, I know, because one day we had this super moon, and we had like a record number. So on on the title of the newspaper, it was like the picture of the moon, because the moon was huge, okay? It was a super moon. Then the next headline underneath it was record number of shootings and killings in Chicago over this weekend. And I was like, crazy. So I started doing this study to see when we had full moons, was there more crime? And there was. There were more shootings, more deaths, more, emotionally raged crimes, because a lot of people obviously are in prison because sometimes we can't control our emotions. Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And our lives just got changed in a split second. So I started doing more research on the moon. Like, at first I found out that statistical data, which was that we did have more crime, shootings, and killings under full moon. So I started researching the moon more. And then I realized that when we get married, don't we celebrate honeymoons? I said, what's a honeymoon? And that was the time when, like, angels guided us to go and solidify and consummate the marriage. It was a time of passion, right? Energy. And then I thought about it, and I was like, remember when people used to say they used to get moonstruck? What does that mean? So moonstruck was back in the day you could use as a defense in court that you were hypnotized by the moon, and that's why you created this or did this crime of passion. And it was a literal defense in court, okay? So the moon is really important. It's always been powerful and important to us. And so when we're thinking about, okay, how does the moon affect us? You know, let's always paint that picture. Have you ever seen that picture before of like the full moon? It's like a wolf in front of it howling. You ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what it means is like the animals are affected by the moon, okay? Animals are very extrasensory, okay? And so that means that the moon's probably affecting us. So full moons for me are this huge time of passion, but also a huge time of release. What's no longer serving you that needs to go, right? So remember I talked about people doing crimes of passion, or they're just in heat in a moment and they just commit some crime, right? But in realism, it's like what triggered them at that moment, right? So the full moon for me is about what needs to go. New moon, what needs to come in. Full moon, what needs to go to make room and space for this which I'm trying to draw in, right? So whether that thing is that has to go is a bad relationship, bad job, bad mindset, whatever it is that has to go, the full moon is the time to release that, okay? Also in the full moon, it's a great time to, if you're into crystals like me, charge your crystals in the full moon. Beyonce says it in her song, I charge my crystals in the full moon, because crystals are alive. They're part of the earth, you know? And so when we charge those in the full moon, it really just gives them a lot more powerful, passionate energy. And so I love just grabbing my crystals and touching them. Full moons are also good times to do a bath. Just take a nice salt bath, release, clean your house, feng shui, get rid of some clothes, clean your wallet out. You'll see in my Manifesting Money video, I talk about cleaning out your wallet and feng shuiing it, and just getting yourself organized and prepared, because full moons typically happen at the end of the month. So just that's a time of wrap up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And so you actually mentioned where I was going next, because the main question that everybody wants to know is, how do I become a money magnet? What is your secret of money magnetism?
Oh, that's easy. That's super easy. You just need to keep telling yourself you're a money magnet and stop worrying about money. It's simple. Literally. That's what I'm saying. In a new moon, write down how much money you want. Write that damn check. Fold the shit up. Put it under, excuse my language, but I'm going to keep it real. Like, I burn a candle, and I just put it under there. I've forgotten what I wrote. That's releasing it.
And so what is this obsession with smelling money? What is the secret to smelling money?
Yeah, so the smelling money is about, it's just something that's super stupid. And it releases it, because it's like, why am I going to sit here and smell my money? Okay, you just smelled it. You took a deep breath. You probably needed to take a deep breath because you were too bent up, out of shape about what you don't have. Does that make sense? It's just a release process.
Exactly. And so
it doesn't matter if you smell $1 or whatever. Like me, I collect money. I love collecting $100 bills just for fun of it. It's like money's a piece of paper. It's fun.
And so, one of my favorite videos of yours is a video where you talk about the 6 steps on following if you are broke immediately, like what to do if you find yourself being broke. What are the 6 steps to immediately do?
Oh, I did that video a while ago. Let me see if I remember some of them. But what I would probably say now is 6 steps. Like, let's see, number 1, I'd probably say first, if you are broke right now, like legit broke right now, you need to first figure out how you got broke, okay? Like, be really, really realistic. Did you mismanage your money? Are you bad with money? What happened? Does that make sense? Because you got to first identify a problem in order to solve it, okay? Number 2, what are you going to do differently going forward? Okay, so for me, I work off of a model called the Profit First model. And the Profit First model talks about how you have about 7 or 8 bank accounts that all your money is filtered through. I will never be broke. okay, period, because I put my money in different places, so I always have access to money. Does that make sense? So what are you going to do different? Because you can't keep doing the same broke stuff and end up back at the same place, okay? Number 3, I would definitely say you need to figure out realistically how much money you need, okay? Because a lot of times people are just swiping the debit card. They realistically don't know how much their living expenses are on a monthly basis. They literally don't know how much it takes to maintain them. How much does it cost to do your hair, get your clothes, do all this stuff? They literally don't know. How much does it cost to maintain your kids? People literally do not know. So number 3, I would say get really clear about how much money you actually really do need, okay? Number 4, if you're in need of an immediate amount of money, I would literally say go and write that down. Write down what you immediately need to manifest right now, okay? And say, I need to manifest this. And then take that sheet of paper and tear that shit up, okay? And then you need to start writing down, I manifested this, okay? And it's like this shift of energy, okay, about what you have already brought in, because it's about speaking things into existence. And I know people are going to be like, well, that doesn't work. That sounds ridiculous. That's stupid. The thing she's saying is so ridiculous. Well, my challenge to you is just go do it, right? Because a lot of people are going to tell me it sounds ridiculous, and they won't do the 6 steps. You understand what I'm saying? So just go and do the 6 steps. And if you feel like, hey, Christina, it literally didn't work, cool, that's fine. Sometimes things in life don't work. People put out products all the time that don't sell, or they do certain things that don't pan out. Okay, well, it didn't work, fine. At the end of the day, you have to, the main thing here is identifying how you got yourself here. 'Cause I didn't get you here, right? You somehow got yourself here. Or maybe you're in a life situation where you grew up poor, you want something different, right? But what are you going to change about where you are? If you're like, well, I didn't create my brokenness, I just grew up broke. Well, what did the people around you do to create this situation? Did they have too many kids? Did they not go to school? Did they not invest how they were supposed to? And I know that sounds like a hard situation, but it's realistic. You know, it's the only way that we can break these generational curses that we have been bound to for so many years. Just because your mom was broke or your dad was broke or your family was poor doesn't mean you need to be poor. You just need to find some new people to get around to inspire you. Okay? So number 4 is if you need an immediate amount of money, it's literally writing down, I've manifested this. The number 5 thing I would probably tell you to do is, number 5, you need to shift how you're going to start your day going forward. And so when I say shift that, typically what I'll have my clients to do when I see like they're having a tension block, where they're like, oh my God, I'm so broke, I need just give me a list of 10 things you love about yourself, and then write out to me 3 things you're grateful for. That's the hugest energy shift. And one of those things on that list that you love about yourself is that you're a money magnet. You're a success magnet. You manifested this money that you wanted. Shift that energy and boss up for yourself, right? Don't be in this defeated energy of I'm so broke, speaking all these negative things into you, because what else do you think you're going to attract? So maybe you can say, I can't find 10 things that I love about myself. Well, then I love my bed. I love taking a shower. I love that I have hot water. You don't even have to go like that deep if you can't find anything. Just there's plenty of things around you, more than 10, that are amazing and that are happening right now that can help you create that shift that you need, whether it's in your finances, your love life, your business, your career, your self-esteem, how you view yourself, being able to, put yourself out there. So there's just, so many different things. So the final and 6th thing I would probably say to do if you're broke right now is you need to listen to some money meditations and literally play those. Because even when I'm working during the day, I literally am playing like money manifestation videos, so I can share some of them with you. And not so much of like videos on how people manifested money, but really just like money meditations almost, to just kind of like get into this vibe of it where, you know what, F it. If it happens, it happens. It don't, it don't. At the end of the day, it's really just this shift of energy and this vibration that you have to be in to constantly attract things. I'm telling you, remember how I said, like, okay, I'll burn my candle, I'll play my Every morning I play my gratitude meditations, my money meditations. I'm playing this stuff like all day. So I'm in this vibe. And do you know what's happening? I'm constantly getting emails, new appointments, client booked, successful payment. Most of my clients are on recurring payment plans. It makes me feel so happy and joyous every time their payments go through to see that happen. It makes me feel so great to log into my bank account and just see what's in there. Even if you have nothing in your bank account right now, print a statement, wipe the damn thing out, and put in there what you want to be there. Just like you said, write yourself a check. Like, start getting into that vibration of the person you want to be. I don't really care who you are right now, because everything, all success, whether you're the greatest singer, the greatest entrepreneur, the greatest TV show host, the greatest basketball player, baseball player, that success starts in your mind first.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And so when entrepreneurs come to you and say, "Hey, Christina, I heard you on the call. I really, want to connect with you and really get my business off the ground," or they already have a business and they want to learn how to extend their brand, what are some of the beginning steps that you would take into reaching out to them that they may need to know about in order to contact you?
Well, absolutely. All the information about working with me, about my services, I'm very transparent. Just head over to ChristinaDukes.com. Everything up there about working with me is there. So typically my funnel that would happen is we do an intro call, see if there's a good fit, right? Because I may not be a good fit for everyone, and everyone may not be a good fit for me, right? Because I have to realize my success is my client's success, right? So depending on where they are and being realistic, I'm going to be realistic with them about if I can help them or not. From there, I have all of my clients come in to do a strategy session, and in that strategy session, we're literally breaking down, understanding their life, setting goals in their business, kind of just understanding what's currently really going on heavily in their business, and then giving them, expectations and different things about what they can achieve. And then from there, I basically figure out which one of my programs that they'll fit into. So I have between 3 to 12-month programs, which are helping them build their brand. So whether that's helping them design their website, and I'm a one-stop shop, design and business coaching and branding. And so literally, whether that's designing their website, helping them create graphics, run their social media accounts, helping them with business strategy, coming in to help them with training with their teams on how to just create this greater presence in the marketplace. So typically that's like how my process works. So I want to share like one other thing that I'm actually working on right now that I think will be really helpful for your audience. So this month, actually, I'm kicking off on, it's going to be the last Sunday of every month at 3:33 p.m., which is a spiritual number. I'm kicking off my new show, which is called the Entrepreneurial Series. And so the Entrepreneurial Series is really just a place for a lot of people just to come and just hear about an array of topics. So it's me and a special guest every month. And some of these people are my clients. Some of them are people that I went to grad school with that are running successful businesses now, people who I've met through the networking process, to come on, and we're really just kind of giving people insight, wisdom, clarity, giving them business tips and pointers on how they can build, grow, and sustain their businesses. So we're going to cover topics like business, branding, legally protecting your brand, talking about law of attraction, how to build the digital market, how to build your digital marketplace, life skills, love skills. We're having a life coach, life and love coach come on as well. So we're just covering an array of topics that make up a successful person, right? Because if you're successful in your career, but you're not successful in your life or feeling very happy, are you really successful? And so just helping them build just well-rounded lives. So you can go on my website as well, Christina Dukes, and you'll see a space at the top of my website for the Entrepreneurial Series, and you can register for one of our shows. Or if you have a business that you want to come on and showcase, you can also click there to apply to be featured on one of our shows. So that's how I'm trying to help the people.
Exactly. And so, one of the reasons why I chose Christine to come on and talk to us tonight was because, as I said, for years I've been following her, and I love the way that she merges the metaphysics and the business together, how she utilizes them, and they're no longer separate, but they become one. And then you also see the success that she's had with many clients and just in her personal life. And so, I'm a big component of operating in everything I do from a metaphysical standpoint, looking at everything from a different lens. So if you're on this call tonight and you're thinking about starting a business, or you're thinking about, hey, you know what, I need to make a change. I do need to, because the only way that you can totally create your own reality is to totally have control, which means that you're going to have to at some point move into entrepreneurship. Now, I always believe this. You don't have to, and we're not telling anybody to quit their job, but I always believe that you work on your part-time dream until it becomes your full-time reality, right? And so,
absolutely. And can I add something to that really quickly?
Sure.
And all of my sessions, so a lot of my clients are in corporate, so I don't know if you know this, but a lot of my clients work at like Facebook or Google. They're heavy in corporate, okay? They're doctors or lawyers, and they want to get out, okay? I had a client who's a medical doctor, and we got her out of medicine into full-time coaching and speaking and being an author, okay? So on our first call, I have every one of my clients quit their job. Not literally, but mentally. We just say it. I quit my job. How does that sound? It sounds good. Say it. Keep saying it. Okay, so from today forward, you don't have a job anymore. You are the CEO of you, okay? And that used to be job is now just one of your clients as a revenue source. Does that make sense? And what you're going to do now is invest in these different revenue sources until you can get rid of that other revenue source, okay? And so, like you said, entrepreneurship is the way. There's too many tax advantages or different things that we can, take advantage of. And even, I think like the IRS, and don't quote me on this, but I think they give you about $5,000 in the starting stages of your business for research and development. Like, you're already paying for a cell phone or paying for gas and, utilities and different things and investing in different things. But are you writing those things off? And now it's time to just finally just seriously get serious about it, because I'm Jamaican and we never have one job, right? So everybody needs to have at least 2 jobs.
Exactly. And so, tonight I think that we got a lot of great insight, great precepts. We learned about smelling money. There's a magic component to smelling money.
Yeah, smell your money.
And we learned tonight about how just constantly walk around talking to yourself, telling yourself that you are money, that I am money, that you are money, that you becoming a money magnet. And so we learned what to do for the full moon. We learned what to do for the new moon. And then, we learned about creating a plan. Those of you that want to get into business, those of you that have a business, you're going to keep adjusting that plan as you go on with your business. But, writing the plan makes it official, makes it concrete. And so we learned about that. One of the things also is that I've always said success is not a destination, it's a journey. Just because you made it to one plateau doesn't mean that you're done, that's it, you're at the top. You keep evolving, you keep going on and on. So learning your purpose and your destiny, understanding that success is a journey. And so, what advice would you have to the person who's saying, you know what, I'm hearing everything that you guys are saying, it sounds wonderful, it sounds great, and I'm ready to take that leap, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the unknown.
Well, there's a quote that says there's nothing to fear but fear itself. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. I can't force you. I don't do the work for my clients. I just tell them what work needs to be done. And we're going to do the work co-collaboratively. But if you don't want to do the work, that's fine. Like, how they say that the graveyard is one of the richest places in the world because there's books there that should have been written and careers that should have been should have moved forward. So at the end of the day, tomorrow's promised to no one. So at the end of the day, no one really cares if you start the business or not, right? The only person that's going to live with the guilt about it is going to be you. So either you can dwindle in the fear or you could just take step one. It costs, like even if I said, my initial costs are complimentary, that doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of your time, right? to just say, well, what are my options? What can I do? And so just start with step one, because the reason why you're afraid is because you just don't know what's beyond that fear. But if you never take the time to learn, or you know how they say when you're a kid, you're scared to look under the bed. If you just, you could always be afraid and just sit on the bed, or you could just literally turn the light on and just look under the bed and see what's under there and conquer the fear. But at the end of the day, no one's going to care if you did it or not. It's really going to be, up to you and what you want to do, because you've got to be willing to do the work. And if God put a vision in you, are you going to sit there and think about it for the rest of your life? Are you going to sit there and watch other people? You ever had an idea and you thought someone else was doing it? Because the ideas don't go away. They just go to someone else. And so either you let your fear consume you and keep you stagnated in these generational curses, or binding you, to mindsets that aren't serving you to be the highest and best you, or you take the leap and know that Spirit and the universe and God will give you wings on the way down, or have people like me to catch you, and I have a net. So, let's go for it. Nothing stopping you but you.
Exactly. And so, fear to me has always been false evidence appearing real.
Yes, appearing real, for real.
And so, being able to overcome that and be able to take that stand, is definitely very pivotal. That's why I created this call called Lessons in Wisdom, because what we're getting is some wisdom elements, some wisdom truths, and some wisdom concepts and ideals that we can use to apply to our lives to really enhance and go to the next level. So if those of you on this call are entrepreneurs, and you're saying to yourself, I need to create more, I need to find a way to get more clients, I believe everybody on this call could benefit in receiving more clients at some point. No matter what business you are. But using the metaphysical principles to bring in those clients will be absolutely phenomenal, to be able to use those tips and those precepts and those concepts that Christina just talked to us about, to be able to magnetize and bring in as many clients as we want. I think the problem we all want to have is to have too many clients, to have too many clients.
I just shut my calendar down because I'm telling you, it's a great process. I've just had to recently, I'm opening back up in mid-June, but I literally had to shut my calendar down because I had so many clients. So if I can do it, who am I? I'm just a regular girl from Chicago. I just wanted something, right? And so I went for it. Of course, I didn't go to school until I was 29. I was scared because it's I'm old, whatever. But then I just said, screw it. Just go ahead and do it. Oh, it's going to cost so much money. I have to talk myself out of it. Oh, you can't get this car. You can't go to school to do this. You can't get that house because how are you going to pay for it? And all these things. And those things sort of stopped me from my destiny. And remember that when we're manifesting the awesomeness of God and the universe into physical form. And so how else are they going to do that but through us, through our ideas, through what we're willing to do? And, at the end of the day, you have to be willing to invest on yourself, because you can't expect a return on investment that you don't make.
Exactly. You cannot reap what you have not sown. And so that's right. And so, Christina, tell us one more time about this event that you have coming on, and also how can we reach out to you?
Oh, absolutely. So like I said, our kickoff for the entrepreneurial series, our first episode is called How to Boss Up in Your Business and Life. That's going to be this coming Sunday, May the 30th at 3:33 p.m. It is on Eventbrite, but you can also find it over on my website at ChristinaDukes.com. There's info there on how to book a complimentary session with me, to learn more about me and what I do, to see my videos, and also you can register for the event there. And I also have a free PDF download, which is called A Prayer for Abundance. And it's just a quick prayer to just kind of help you have that shift that you need to just break through with your money blocks. So it's all over at ChristinaDukes.com.
Oh, that's wonderful. So we're definitely going to reach out to you and go ahead and be a part of that. I want to also thank all of you who are listening in, those of you that are part of the Lessons in Wisdom call. If you want to go ahead and sow a seed tonight, you can do that at PayPal, IssacharBey@gmail.com. You can also do Venmo, which is going to be at Issachar-Bay. And then you can also do Zelle, which is going to be IssacharBey@gmail.com. And so, Christina, you work with the crystals, you work with the angel cards, and you use all of these utensils. What are some of your best? What would you say is the best tool that you've used to help you really manifest the most?
My best tool that I use to help me manifest the most is going to definitely be my notebook. Beyond the crystals, if you don't have no crystals, you don't have no candles, a pen and a piece of paper are my two best tools. And like I said before, if you guys follow me over at earthangelnina.com, I don't know if you'll send like links and stuff out to them after or how they can do that. But if you go to Christina Dukes, Earth Angel Nina is there, you'll see it. But there you can subscribe, and I talk all about like the transits and different ways to manifest and really get heavy into that spiritual aspect of it. But literally the tools, I would say the best two tools that I would have are a pen and a piece of paper.
Exactly. I mean, definitely I agree 100%. Writing is the first level of manifestation. And so many different things that you
know how the Bible it says make the plan, and make it plain so he who reads it can run with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So you know what, Christina, I want to thank you for tuning in, into this call, taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on.
Thank you for having me.
We had a great pleasure tonight. Very influential. We got a lot of information tonight. I've been taking notes, writing things down, and we're going to start incorporating. And we just want to thank you, those of you that are listening. We're going to be definitely getting those links out to you so that you can go ahead and be a part of what she has going on. And we will be connected again. We will have you on again to talk about some different things, and we may have you on more on the spiritual side of things as well. So as we move into June, we're going to be having a lot of things going on, and so I found it not robbery to bring you on and just enlighten us on tonight. And so I want to thank you so much for your information, your wisdom, and your knowledge that you have imparted onto us tonight. And we want to thank you for being a part of this call.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Issachar.
Oh, thank you so much. And to the listeners, we want to thank you. Like I said, starting Sunday, we will be going on, starting in June, we'll be moving to Sundays and Wednesday nights. And so we will keep you guys posted. As I always say before we end this call, your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good night. And so it is.